25 valid palindrome in Ruby. So palindrome is anything that's read one way from left to right equals the same way that it's read from right back to left, reverse. So this is a palindrome. This is not a palindrome because in the middle, E and A don't equal each other. An empty string is a palindrome. And so where I would start is just for that edge case of an empty string or a string that's of length 1 and less will always be a palindrome because the letter A will always be the letter A even if reversed. So you could return true if s.length is less than or equal to 1. And then ultimately what I want to do is I want something to compare inwards, each character as they're going inwards. So 2 pointers that are shifting inwards and checking against each other if they're the same and if they go all the way to the middle. And if they pass each other, the pointers, then you know you've reached all the way to the end, and if it still didn't call false, then it's true. It is a palindrome. And to start that off, you could do an L for left is 0 because you're going to start all the way at the left, and then R is equal to s.length minus 1 to start all the way at the right. And then you can have them closing in on each other by doing a while loop. So you do while left is less than right. If you do while left is less than right, do and you're gonna want them going in and checking against each other, but so ultimately what moves them is L plus is equal to 1, right minus is equal to 1. So that's the engine, the motor that keeps them moving along. And then there's going to be a case where they don't match each other. If they don't match each other, you're going to want to return false if s at the position of L does not equal to s at the position of R. So then there'll be a mismatch, and that just triggers the false. But in the meantime, there are things we have to worry about are lowercase, capitalization, and punctuation and spaces. And any characters that aren't ASCII, meaning alphanumeric, capital and lowercase alphabets, and 0 through 9. So we could do a helper function called def is char, and this will take in a character. And you can either do a regex checker, or I'd like to do all of these characters dot include char, which is a Ruby method, but ultimately I would just do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, capital, and then E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. And then from 0 all the way to 9. So this will be our helper function that checks as it goes along. If it's a space, skip it. If it's a comma, skip it. So what you want to do right here is you can do while checking left, and while checking the left is a char or is not a char, you can skip ahead. And the same thing with the right, while the character at the right is not a char, skip ahead, skip backwards. So then you could do while not is underscore char. And what would be the char? The char would be s at the position of L. And it would just throw in capital A, space, comma, colon, and it's always checking. We do end. L plus is equal to 1, just shift it along, basically. But yeah, okay. And then while not is underscore char of s at position of, while not is underscore char of s at position of right, do end. You do right minus is equal to 1. Also, I think there's going to be, if they do happen to skip each other, like in the case where the test input could be like a colon that or whatever, then if it's not a char, push left and push right. But if you don't want it to go out of bounds into nil territory, so you could have another check that says just left is less than right, and so that if they surpass each other, don't run this one, because otherwise you'll be stuck in this while loop as it's still checking, and it'll just keep on plowing through, because it's not, at this point it's not checking for this one, so you want the conditions to be within that one. So right is greater than left, and do that, and return false if this does not equal that, right? And then if it makes it all the way through, then you can return true. And I think that's all of it. So you can take R, return true. These R characters, so just move it along, move it along, move it along, and then when you have left and right, E and A, it will just short circuit and it will hit that because it's an even number. If it's that, but I think that should be good. Okay. So I think there should also be probably should be a break. I think there should be a break somewhere here. And, or you know what we forgot is our down case checker. The thing to check capital A is equal to lowercase a. We're checking is char, it's valid, so then keep it going, but we want to return false if the dot down case does not equal to the dot down case. So I think that should do it. Yeah. Cool.